health with regards to achieving the SDGs.
The Sustainable Development Goals provisions of free secondary education and finance for women participation in small-scale businesses dominated discussion at the meeting. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the 8th National Assembly has put together 6 reform bills to help revamp Nigeria's infrastructure. Senate President Bukola Saraki stated this at the 2017 edition of the National Assembly Business Environment Roundtable. National Assembly correspondent Waziri Zayanu reports.
The National Assembly Business Environment Roundtable (NASBA) was created as a platform for the legislature and the private sector to engage and act on framework that will improve Nigeria's business environment through review of relevant legislation. While declaring the roundtable open, Senate President Bukola Saraki said the 6 reform bills put together targeted high efficiency and independency that is at par with international best practices.
This is the beginning of a different type of approach to governance and a more of a partnership with the private sector.
Speaker House of Representative Honorable Yakubu Dogara, in a message to the roundtable, said the National Assembly will continue to play a central role not only in government but also in ensuring deliberations on acts that will impact positively on the business environment.
Looking back the last 12 months, NASBA has brought the success story of numerous synergy, dialogue and engagement between the legislature, development partners, the private sector, the bench, and the citizen.
Various speakers called for greater synergy between NASBA and the National Assembly. Membership of the 10 working groups of NASBA are drawn from different segments of the economy. From the National Assembly, Waziri Zayanu, NTA News.
And away from the legislature, for the first time in 30 years, a high-level Indonesian delegation led by the Minister of Foreign Affairs is visiting Nigeria. The visit may have opened a new chapter in bilateral relations between Nigeria and Indonesia. Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyama says it is the opening and strengthening of bilateral mechanisms. Gabriel Odu reports.
Economic cooperation, defense and strategic industry, and cooperation on combating narcotics are issues on the table as the two ministers explore new avenues to strengthen bilateral relations.
We look forward to very rich discussions that will pave the way, as I said, for more intensive cooperation and much greater level of trade between our two countries, and hopefully also greater cultural exchanges and interaction.
In Indonesian foreign policy, we put Africa as our priority, and of course when we talk about Africa, Nigeria will be the main part of it. So Nigeria will become the priority of Indonesian foreign policy.
As discussions progress, consular issues, support for Indonesian candidature in multinational organizations also featured. Nigeria and Indonesia are members of the 8 developing countries, OIC, G77, United Nations, and 2 most populous countries. In Abuja, Gabriel Odu, NTA News.
In the spirit of Ramadan, about 200 tons of dates have been donated to internally displaced persons in the northeast by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The Minister of State Foreign Affairs, Khadija Bukar Abba Ibrahim, received the consignment on behalf of the federal government. Gabriel Odu again reports.
Phoenix dactylifera, commonly known as date, is an edible sweet fruit with high nutritional value, replenishes calories, contains vitamins and minerals, good for growth, development, and overall well-being. The donation of 200 tons of dates by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to IDPs, the minister said, is very timely given the holy month of Ramadan.
To use this opportunity to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on behalf of the government and people of Nigeria for this very, very generous gift. There's already a very strong bilateral relationship between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia, and this even makes it stronger.
Saudi Arabia is the third largest producer of dates after Egypt and Iran. In Abuja, Gabriel Udu, NTA News.
And similarly, the Nigerian Air Force says it will not relent in providing health and humanitarian services to internally displaced persons in the Northeast. This was reiterated as the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, received cartons of noodles donated by a company to the IDPs. Defense correspondent Isaac Nkuma reports.
The Nigerian Air Force has over time been commended for its concern over the plight of IDPs in the Northeast, especially in Bama and Dalori camps, where it established medical facilities to cater for health and nutritional needs of the inhabitants. This humanitarian intervention by the Air Force is receiving support, as demonstrated with the donation of 4,000 cartons of noodles by a food processing company. The Chief of Policy and Plans, Air Vice Marshal James Boom, received the items on behalf of the Chief of Air Staff.
Without the soft approach, which we call in the military winning hearts and minds, you will never make any headway in fighting terrorism. Because if the people in that environment are not happy with you, they will never devour any information to you. And you cannot fight guerrilla warfare or terrorism without having HUMIT, that is human intelligence, having the timely report from those who are within that environment to help you to fight the insurgents.
We felt as a corporate citizen to really help in the effort and partner with them to make sure that we can also be a means to help the people who have been suffering a lot.
Before now, malnutrition has been a challenge faced by internally displaced persons in many camps in the Northeast. In Abuja, Isaac Nkuma, NTA News.
Wife of the President Aisha Muhammadu Buhari Tuesday morning returned to the country from the United Kingdom, where she visited her husband, President Muhammadu Buhari, who is on medical vacation. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports that Mrs. Buhari explained that the president is recuperating very fast.
The aircraft landed within Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, at about 4:30 Tuesday morning. On arrival, the wife of